She was real strong up to this point, too.
Every move on the women's balance beam is ranked in the code of points. This was one of her acrobatic skills, and it was actually one of the most difficult ones. But she had a bit of a wobble, and she had to stop and couldn't continue the third. Very solid on her front handspring. She had an interesting dismount. She dismounted from the side of the beam. It's called a gainer, double twist. Have to get enough push away from the side of the beam.
Came close. Score 9.575 for Monica Kovaci. Not enough to push her past Lori Strong at this point. Comes Janine Rankin. Outstanding on this apparatus, Alfie. Well,
Janine is known internationally very well. And right at the top of her routine, she invented this move. It's called the Rankin. She'll run up on the beat board, jump to a one arm. Incredible balance. Look at that. That's the Rankin. Those three jumps are another requirement that the judges are looking for. Their gymnastic series directly connected. Two back handsprings, to a layup. Oh. Of course, that's a 5/10 deduction, Peter. Front handspring, connecting to a second front handspring. She looks really calm. Have to get herself back on track. Now watch this move. She'll cross her hands over. Very interesting. The judge is always looking for the originality. Now Janine's working down low on the bounce beam. Nice shoulder work. Very interesting move. Getting set. Full turn. Very solid. She looks just a little bit cautious. The end of her routine. Round off, double back summy. Good landing. Too bad for that fall.
Well, she'll be competing out of a possible 9.5 to start with because of the slip. Otherwise, probably would have been good enough for a medal.
Well, this was an extremely difficult acrobatic series. Two connecting back handsprings, but what made it so difficult is that layout right there. Not quite on. You can just see your shoulders dip to the right. I really like this section of Janine's balance beam routine. Very original. Shoulder spin to a half turn. Nice creativity there.
Janine waiting for the judge's decision, knowing that it's likely not going to be good enough to be in the medal hunt. However, 9.1, probably one of the lowest scores she's ever received in this apparatus. 9.1. We're not accustomed to seeing our Olympic athletes stumble on these apparatus. Only 14 years old from Sports Seneca, Scarborough, Ontario, Koyuki Oka.
Now take a look at this mount. I bet you she could challenge some of the men on the pommel horse. Very well done. She's a master on this event. If she can hit all her moves, she should score very well. Just a little bit of a pause there before this difficult move. Oh, now she fell on the balance beam, Peter, but unfortunately that's the same deduction had she fallen off the beam.
So she too automatically with a maximum 9.5.
Double turn, that was solid. Again, that is still very difficult. Almost like a layout salto, what she did in her opening pass. Having a little bit of problems on her leap series. Front handspring. A gainer layout. She certainly has all the difficulty in this routine. Just her dismount left. There's a round off, double back salto. Oh, and a fall on the dismount. That's really too bad for Koyuki. She's usually a very good and consistent beam worker.
Well, the pressure maybe of the national television when you're 13 years of age might have got a little bit to her.
Well, she is in great company with all the Olympians, and she's hoping to make the 1989 World Championship team. Look at that, two difficult back handsprings. You can see she missed her right foot totally, but again, falling on the apparatus, which is the same deduction. And there's her dismount. A round off on the bounce beam, has to get lots of height in order to pull two salto rotations, and unfortunately had to put her hands down a little bit short on the landing.
Koyuki Oka, only 13 years of age, and competing with our Olympic athletes here in Edmonton. Realistically, Alfie, 8.6, we have the score 8.6 for Koyuki. Realistically, will our 17 and 18-year-olds now still be around for Barcelona as 21-year-olds?
I think you might just see them there. I think we need their experience and leadership for the younger kids coming up.
And one of these younger kids is Leah Homa from Willowdale and Sports Seneca.
Now she does the same type of mount as Koyuki, only in a straddle position. Nice flared work. Very original to take that movement over to the balance beam. I have to mention the girls have had a long week of competition, this being the third day.
Lori Strong, who is near flawless, leads this event.
Back handspring, 2-foot layout to another back handspring. Solid. Front handspring. Dag jump. Two switch leg split leaps. Not a very difficult move. You can see that they're having trouble with some of the easier moves instead of some of the big difficulties. Gainer layout. There's a dismount, 2-foot back handspring to a double tuck salto, an extremely difficult combination.
And might be good enough to get her a medal. Little wobble at one point, but she didn't come off the beam.
It was still an excellent routine. That wobble will cost her a couple of tenths of a deduction. There's her switch leg split leap right into a second one. But she hung on. It's nice to see them fight to stay on the beam. This was a really tough way to end a routine, Peter. Two-foot back handsprings. You can see her keeping her feet together, generating lots of speed for that dismount. Gets plenty of height. Great beam routine.
Well, Leah comes in with a 9.45, and that will be good enough to give her her second medal of this competition. 9.45 for young Leah Homa of Willowdale. We'll be back with much more from Edmonton as the 1989 Canadian National Gymnastics Championships continue in a moment. Women's gymnastics, that Alfie of the floor exercise.
Well, this is a wonderful event, not only for the athlete. This is a chance for her to really express herself, but also for the audience. They love to get into these routines, and any chance that they have to clap along, they just love it. They look forward to this apparatus. Janine, of course, did a wonderful job in the first day of competition. She's actually had the highest score in optionals. More sophisticated style for Janine this year. Full twisting double tuck salto, very well done. Combination tumbling run. Punch front through to double back. Lots of height.
Stepped out at the end of that run, however.
Janine worked on this new floor routine following the Summer Olympic Games, and it's a nice piece of music for her.
Janine will be 18 in a couple of weeks. Likely still thinking of Barcelona.
Although the tumbling, Peter, is the highlight of these floor routines, I have to remember that 50% of it is the dance, and the dance should be just as equal to the tumbling. Janine's doing a great job. This is the end for her. Double back, lots of difficulty. I like that routine.
Janine Rankin from the Mississauga Gymnastics Club.
She had lots of height in her tumbling. Very difficult. 3 tumbling passes. This was her second one. It was a combination. Rush in front. She moves right through to a double back summy. Now that cowboy position, the leg separation, is going to cost her 1/10 of a deduction. This is the finale of her floor routine. Double back, really tough to end with. Good landing.
And the score for Janine on the floor exercise, 9.898. So they start off with a very high mark, leaving very little for someone to get better. This is Leah Homa. 2 medals already in the 3 apparatus so far. She's from Willowdale, only 15.
Good experience for Leah, since she is looking a little further down the road to making the 1989 World Championship team. Very familiar music from the 1988 Calgary Olympic Games. Combination whip through to a full-in pike. A little bit short on landing, had to put her hands down. Triple turn again. That move is probably as difficult as some of the double back summies. Second of 3 tumbling runs. Whip through to a double twist. Short again. She's probably pretty tired at this point. Okay, a few little problems in that routine.
Leah Homa from Sports Seneca.
A lot of difficulty in this routine. This was her opening tumbling run. Whip through. Right to a full twisting, double back. You can see just not enough height to pull those legs around.